Welcome back, leaders. This is the second video of the Lead Your Habits course, and it's explaining the first stage of building a habit, the cue. So, the first stage of building a habit is to make the cue obvious, like I explained in my latest video, the first one. So, if you haven't watched it already, go and watch it, and then come back. You watched it? Good. But before we need to find out how we can make good habits, how we can add habits onto our life, we need to be aware of our old ones. We need to be aware of the habits that we already have. So, how to be aware of our habits? If we don't know our old habits, we can't really build new ones. And the more automatic and more used to a habit we are, the harder it is to notice. I mean, do you notice that you brush your teeth every morning without even thinking about it? It's because you've been doing it for a long time. It's that automatic. But are you even aware that it's a habit? So in order to be more aware of our old habits, we can either use a habit scorecard or a pointing and calling. Let me explain the habit scorecard. For example, when you wake up, you do a set of routines and things, right? Your morning routine. You get up, you look at your phone maybe, wear your clothes, brush your teeth, set after each other, right? So, what habit scorecard does is you have to write out all the habits you do. For example, in the morning, to me, it's waking up, look at the phone, brush my teeth, read affirmations, push-ups, shadow boxing, planks, yoga, meditation. And after these habits, you have to put either three signs, plus, minus, or equal sign. The plus stands for a good habit that you can keep, and minus stands for a bad habit that you're trying to quit. For example, it would be looking at my phone when I wake up. That's a bad habit in my book. And put an equal sign next to the neutral habits. That isn't good or bad, it's just there. And when you start doing this, you automatically start to become more aware of your habits, of what you do in your daily life, so you can easily get rid of or add new habits. So once you do this habit scorecard, write down all your habits and put the signs next to it, you're more aware of what you do and which ones are bad and which ones are good to your life. That pointing and calling works like this. It's much more useful when it comes to bad habits. Because, for example, when I'm about to eat a donut or a chocolate, right? I say,
I'm about to eat a chocolate.
I just pointed and called out my action, right? My habit. And since I did that, I'm even more aware that I'm about to perform an unhealthy action, which is very likely to make me put down the chocolate and make me do something else. This is especially useful when it comes to unhealthy habits and bad habits. So, those are two methods you can use to be aware of your habits. How to set the cues for your habit. If you don't know what a cue is something that triggers an action. So here is an example of a habit of mine. In the gym, if I see a dumbbell, I automatically start working out because the dumbbell is the cue. It triggers my habit. My craving is to feel my muscles work, right? And the response is to pick it up and start pumping it, right? And the reward is I feel energetic. That is one complete set of habit right there. And the most two common cues we can use are time and location. For example, with the dumbbells, the location is the gym, right? And to use these two cues more effectively, we can use implementation intention. This is where we state or write down and say something like, I will perform an action at some time at that location. For example, I will work out at 2 p.m. in my local gym. The more specific your intention, your goal or habit is, the better it is. When our goals and aims are vague, we allow other things to interfere with our progress, and eventually it won't be as effective. So that's why when building new habits and creating new ones, you need to have as much clarity and precision as possible. You can't just say
I'm gonna work out tomorrow.
It has to be clear and precise.
I will work out at 2 p.m. tomorrow in my local gym.
Another example of this is I will do 10 crunches at 10 a.m. in the living room. Also, another easy way to add a new habit is to stack a habit on top of an existing one. It's called habit stacking. For example, after I jump rope, I will do 10 push-ups. You see, that was a habit stacking. Jump rope was the previous action and push-ups was the next habit. I stacked the habit on top of the other one. You know why this works? Because the end of our actions and our habits is the cue for our next action. Well, take a look at your morning routine, for example. What do you do after you brush your teeth? Chances are you'll do the same thing you always do after you brush your teeth. Maybe take a shit or maybe take a shower. But whatever it is, you always do the exact same thing after you perform that habit. The end of that action, you're cleaning up and stuff, right? Was the cue to your next action. So your cue should be as frequent as possible as the habit you're trying to put into your life. For example, if you're trying to meditate, it wouldn't be smart to stack it on top of a habit which only happens once a week. So the frequency of the cue should be as the same amount as you want to perform the habit in your life. How we can make cues work for us. People do things such as buy a product or go places, not because of what they are, it's because of how they're presented to us and how we see it, how we perceive it. The tiniest change in what you see is a very big difference in what you do. Get it? The tiniest change in what you see is a very big change in what you do. For example, when you're walking in the kitchen and you see a chocolate sitting on the table, you obviously want to eat it, right? Because it's right there. The cue is right there, visible to you, calling itself, saying,
I'm right here. Eat me.
However, change that chocolate with the bottle of water, right? The tiniest difference. But it'll make a drastic change in your life. Because instead of eating that chocolate, you're gonna drink that water. And it'll make huge difference to your life. Especially your health. Since every habit starts with a cue, we gotta make the cues for our good and new habits as visible, as clear, in the open and easy for us to pick up as possible. Understand? We need to make the cues for the good habits as visible and clear as possible. So if you want to drink more water, put a water bottle right next to your bedside. If you want to read more books, put a book right where you see it all the time, every day. If you want to work out more, put your workout clothes right where you see it, on next to your bed or something. And the more visible and clear a cue is, the more likely you'll do the habit. Oh, and to quit a bad habit, it's literally the opposite. You have to make the cue as invisible and as less visible as possible. For example, if you eat a chocolate every time you go into the kitchen, you gotta put those chocolates away instead of testing your willpower. You can just throw it away. Just get it out, alright? You need to make sure it's not there to trigger that bad habit. If someone smokes, putting a cigarette right there is not a good idea, right? So throwing away all the cues and stuff will help you quit your bad habits. For example, when I was working, I used to have my phone right here, right next to me, right? Which distracted me a lot, like all the time. Because of it was keep ringing and I'd keep checking it to see what notifications there was. But ever since I removed it from where I worked, where I did my stuff, I don't do that anymore because the cue is not there. I simply removed it. And because I removed the cue, I don't perform that habit anymore. And you can do this with all of your habits. If you're playing too much video games, well then put away your console to someone it's very hard to see. If you're constantly looking at your phone, put it somewhere where you're not as easily accessible to. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can use the cues to make it work for you, how you can make new habits and quit bad habits as quickly and easy as possible. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Subscribe, bell notifications, like, and comment. Exactly in that order. Anyways, thank you for watching again. I hope you got a lot of information from this video. Have an awesome day, leaders, and I will see you in my next video.